Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, March 5th, 2014. We're going to take a look at the roadmap here. So, deadlinger.com. Scroll on down here to the roadmap. We are knee deep in the creatures. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about NPCs and hostile NPCs, things of that nature. And I'm not quite sure how well I am behind the whole adding NPCs. I kind of like a game where it's more driven by the players, but I guess it depends on how big the servers will be, how much the servers support. If there's only like 8 people supported on a server, you might feel kind of low. Well, I shouldn't say only 8 supported. Sometimes when you get in there and you play like DayZ, there's like maybe 8 people on your server if you're find a really low populated one, and that might feel lonely. So some survivors are okay. I still kind of like the idea if it's an optional. So still up in the air on NPCs, but animals and hunting. So we can probably talk about animals hunting and infected here. So right now with animals and hunting, you can currently hunt wild bucks in the woods of the world. You can also skin them with a knife and cook their meat over a fire. We have many more animals and features planned revolving around this. And from the beginning, I said that's like one of my favorite things about these kinds of games, kind of the open world, is just that right there. Being able to, go shoot the buck, take your knife, skin it, and then make a fire that you chop down a tree with an axe and then, made it into a fire pit, light it with some matches, and then boom, you're cooking that food that you got. I mean, I think that's awesome. I don't know why, but that just appeals to me on some level. And it would be cool to eventually see more animals. And I think earlier we've looked at, or maybe saw in something, but yeah, they do plan on more non-infected animals. And it would just be nice to see a world not so populated by nothing. And it might be cool too, like depending on the animal, that's what the zombies have caught. So don't make it where the zombies can only hunt people, but maybe just a bad luck, a buck will run through a horde of zombies, and the zombies will trigger on that too. So kind of give those animals, kind of like the same characteristics of a person. I think that would be neat too, because that would add some ambiance. You're running around, you see some zombies that are hunkered down over something, and you kill them off, and you find it's the corpse of a, something, maybe a bear. I think that would be very cool. And I think along with the animals, it'll be nice too when they can add in the fishing as well. And excuse me, I know we've covered fishing before. Water is coming somewhere down the road. It'll be a while before they have water in. But I still think that would be cool just to really kind of round that out. That self-sufficiency that I'm talking about. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wasn't so like feeling the need for an NPC. I know you don't want the world to be empty. There are going to be survivors, but if it is just you, that ability to be self-surviving, other than having to find cans of food and stuff, like if you wanted, you could totally try to move off of the grid and just rely on hunting. What's really going to help with that is when they make arrows recoverable, because you might start the first part of your game running around trying to find arrows for your bow, your crossbow, and then at some point that's it. That's all you have. Then you've got your knife, you're out, you're hunting, you're getting your meat, you're cooking your fires and stuff like that. And I think too what would be cool to help with that hunting aspect is if you could make a fire without matches. I mean, at some point primitive man skills will kick in, and you're going to make the fire bow with a shoelace or something. If you watch Survivor Man, there's a lot of ways to make a fire where you don't have to rely on matches. So the animals and hunting aspect of the game right now, it's minimal. Right here they say they're at 20%. And that's pretty fair. But it's there, and it's really, really cool. I know they said they would, but it will be nice at some point when you are chopping the meat, skinning it, that the meat doesn't fall from the sky. Maybe they'll have a better animation for skinning and stuff like that, where you actually, can peel back the skin and pull the meat off. So that'll make that look prettier. But at least the function is there, and I like it. Now the other thing too, though, it mentions here cooking your meat. In one of my videos, I don't know if I'll get to show it because they've been having audio issues. I might not post it, but in one of them, it actually, someone mentioned this earlier in a post a long time ago. Instead of cooking the meat from the buck, you can actually, in your crafting panel, take a thing of salt and then an uncooked meat, and when they combine, you get jerky. So I finally tried that for the first time a couple days ago. I mean, it works great, and I love it because, yeah, they put in that ability to cook, but the problem is the fire. It draws zombies from all over the place. So it's nice that you can cook, nice you can make your fire, but it's dangerous. It's almost like you've got to go build your fire pit somewhere away from your home base, start the fire, cook your meat. That way when the zombies come, at least it's not to your home. Then the alternative is, there's the salt. Just take the salt, combine it with the meat, you got jerky, and it's filling. So I really like where they're going with the hunting and cooking. It's there, it's in a basic format, but it's awesome. I can't wait for more recipes. If I get my salt and stuff, I still got some bottles of salt, but if I get more, I'm going to see if I can start combining like salt and cabbage and corn and things, and just see what all I can cook. Maybe actually spend some time gathering up materials and then do a recording on just being a chef and just see what will work and what doesn't work. Then the last thing we'll talk about animals, because it's part of that, is we'll briefly mention the infected animals. So there's currently a zombie dog dubbed the Stray in the game, and it moves a bit quicker than the standard zombies. They're weak, but pack quite a bit of biting power. Yeah, they suck. The dogs are terrible. A lot of times you don't even know a dog is there until you see the bite indicator on your screen. So yeah, it is nice to have a little bit of variety with the animals, but they're very difficult to deal with. Yes, they're easier to kill, but they are super fast. If you can see them coming, you can prepare for it. But if you're not prepared for it at all, like I said, sometimes the only known indicator that they're there is the bite mark. So it will be interesting to see if they put other animals. I know we looked at it a long time ago, but they were like showing some teaser pictures of like a zombie bull, zombie cow of some sort. I hope they don't get terribly crazy, but I do know in one of the posts that I read, if they do start to add a lot of different infected animals and creatures and other zombie types, that at some point those will be server selectable as if they're going to be, active or not. So you could go in and maybe just turn off the zombie dogs and leave everything else. And I think that's fair. I like that because, when you make a sandbox game, it's your pit. Sure, you're playing with their tools, but a sandbox means you can pick from those tools what you want to play with that day. So, if you're feeling in an especially evil mood and you want to have the zombie dogs, the zombie pigeons, the zombie parakeets, the zombie starfish, if you just want to go crazy with animals, go ahead. If you don't want to have them, turn them off. But I don't know. I read some folks that were kind of disappointed when they put the zombie dogs. But again, options are good. And the fact that they've got the zombie dog, sometimes you got to think of it too. They're not necessarily putting something in because they think that's, going to be game breaking or whatever. A lot of times it's just a proof of the programming, proof that the software can handle something like that. So yeah, we have a zombie dog now, but that could be the forerunner to a later item that's going to be much, much cooler if you're not happy with a zombie dog. So it's good that they've put that in there because that helps lay the groundwork for future editions. Excuse me. And then again, if that's something you decide you don't want and you can just turn that off at the server level, then hey, the more the merrier. So we have animals. Well, we have a buck and we have a dog. So we have animals. One's infected, one's not. One kills you, The other one, once you kill it, helps you survive. They have basic cooking. It's good stuff. Good stuff. And as you can see, if they're at the 20% mark, that means we got a lot of good stuff coming along too. So what's nice is the fact that it works, it functions, and now all we have to do from here on out is wait for more additions. So good job on that. Thank you for hanging out. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I was yelling at the dog earlier. So, animals. Speaking of. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.